Good evening, everyone. It is now 7 p.m. I will call the Tuesday, February 21st, 2023 Selectmen meeting to order. All three selectmen are present. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen special meeting minutes, budget reviews from February 6th, 2022.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comment on these minutes?
No, they look good.
Yeah, me too. All in favor of approving the special Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from February 6th, 2022, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from February 7th, 2023.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on these minutes?
No.
Nope, they look good.
All in favor of approving the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from February 7th, 2023, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen special meeting minutes, budget reviews from February 15th, 2023.
Second.
Okay, motion in a second. Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor of approving the special selectmen meeting minutes from February 15th, 2023, say aye.
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 Aye. All right. On to correspondence. We have upcoming Chamber of Commerce, Northeast Connecticut Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours at the Graduate Hotel or the Graduate Stores Hotel in Stores, Connecticut. And that will be February 28th, so next Tuesday. We received the vegetation management plan from Tech Associates for the Providence Worcester Railroad. They have anticipated that herbicide applications will commence after May 1st, 2023, depending on weather conditions and other factors. I have the whole plan on file in the Selectman's office if anybody from the public would like to come and view that plan. And the last thing came in from Janet Blanchett, the MISRAC chairperson. I just saw this. It was from Friday's meeting, I think, no, Friday, the 10th, February 10th, but she sent to me on the 18th. So that was Saturday. So it's in regard to Oscar Swanson Park and the potential of removing some of the shrubs that are there. She asked that the Board of Selectmen discuss it. So I'd like to add this to other business. That's.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we add the discussion about Oscar Swanson Park shrubs. Ken has the second. Any discussion on adding this to other business? All in favor of adding this agenda item to other business, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And with that, any other correspondence that either selectman might have received?
Nope.
All right. We will move on to selectmen comments, Any selectmen comments at this time?
I don't think I have anything.
Ken?
Just the update on the park lights?
Yeah, are they still not on? Because Joe worked on the timer.
They're still up.
Okay, so we have Darren Trudeau from Trudeau Electric is going to be checking the park out. And checking that specifically. Joe came in to me today because he had worked on the timer and resetting the timer, and neither one of us have paid attention. So he came in literally this afternoon and asked me about it. But Darren Trudeau is going to be doing some work there, so we'll have him figure out what's wrong. We did notice that there were two lights out entirely, and then one has a cracked globe, so we'll be taking care of that as well.
Yeah, and we got one to the entrance into the village,
Okay,
right at the road.
okay. I will
That
let
one's
Joe
out
know
as
that
well.
too. So I don't have too much to state for my selectmen comments. We are still in the midst of budget workshops. We have our final budget workshop as far as presenters this Wednesday, so tomorrow, via Zoom. The fire departments will be presenting, as well as Putnam EMS, Inlands Wetlands Conservation, and the Registrar of Voters. March 2nd is the date that we present to the public. So we will be doing some final budget review on Monday and Tuesday. And then that'll leave one day to put together that presentation for the public on March 2nd. Additionally, Melinda and I are working on a questionnaire, a survey, in regard to the budget, to have, so that our residents can put their input in, so the Board of Finance knows what's important to the public. So we're working on that. It is going to be done through SurveyMonkey. There'll be a QR code that people can scan and answer the questions. So I'll share that with both of you once it's kind of partially drafted, and then if you have any input, you can give it to Melinda and myself. The IT department is putting it together for us.
So is that gonna be handed out?
We're
How is
gonna
that gonna be
announce it on, we're
dispersed?
gonna announce it on March 2nd, and we're gonna have it available via the website, where you can scan or you can click the link to take the survey. It's gonna be all via internet. So
We don't need to vote on that or anything?
I don't think so.
Did the Board of Ed?
I don't think so.
And
I think the Board of Ed might have asked Melinda to. We could add it as an agenda item.
doesn't matter to me, if, you know, it's fine.
I don't have a problem.
I
with
don't,
it.
yeah,
All right.
no, I just wanted to follow their protocol. If they had voted on it, then, you know, it would make sense for us. But if it was just a directive that they gave to Melinda, then that's fine.
Okay. And also just be thinking about it. April cleanup is coming up. We're gonna start slightly early, starting on March 25th. We're gonna have the container at the highway garage, so people can start a little bit early. And that's kind of Norma's anticipating, because of the warm weather, I think that people might be ready to get out and start the cleanup earlier. So let's hope the warm weather continues. And with that, that's all I have.
Did you update ClearGov, which you said you were gonna be
I
able to
did,
do?
and I sent you both, so you should be able to.
I haven't had
access-
a chance to look at it.
Okay, and I did send you both a spreadsheet with the department head's proposed budget today.
Okay, I didn't.
So, okay.
Yeah,
haven't
I
gone
saw
on the
that.
computer
Yeah.
today.
I
What
just
were
sent
you
it
saying
today.
about accessing?
Just check ClearGov and see, you should be able to access it and see the department head
Okay,
proposal.
I have been able to.
Okay,
Well, but the numbers that she
Oh,
had
right.
and
right,
what we
that's right.
had were
Right.
We're
totally
not the
different.
same, that's
right.
right. I
Now
was
they
in there
should be the same. So
today,
just
I
take
think
the
I was in there
spreadsheet.
today.
Yeah, check the spreadsheet that I gave you and check it against what comes over on ClearGov, and please let me know if for some reason it's not coming.
That's
over
right, I
right.
forgot that.
So
Thanks.
I definitely wanted you both to have that spreadsheet before tomorrow's meeting.
Yeah, look,
That also includes all the numbers from the fire departments, which I said, you guys, their request in an
yes,
email today as well.
yes.
Okay.
So, wanted to make sure you had that. I got those over the weekend, so most of those came in yesterday, so I got those right out to you. Any other selectmen comments, thoughts, questions? Cool. All right, we will move on to agenda item 6, citizen comments. Any citizen comments at this time? Valerie Clark.
Valerie Clark, 105 Ulm Road. I have a number of really quick things. And I'm working backwards, sorry. The survey on the announcement, how will that be announced?
At the March 2nd, Board of Finance, the kickoff meeting to the budget season, that's where both the school and the town present their budgets to the public.
And the survey is going to be announced at the budget kickoff?
Right, it'll be complete
Public
and it'll
meeting.
be accessible via the internet. So there'll be links on the town page, the school page, there'll be a QR code that night that people can scan to take the questionnaires.
And how long will the survey be open for?
Potentially for the first couple weeks in March. Because we need to have time to get all the information to the Board of Finance.
I see. Okay, now I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next item, the vegetation management plan that P and W is doing after May 1st, how
Mhm.
does that get published, announced on the website or anything so that people know that that's happening or happened?
I don't know that we've done that in the past. I'm certainly happy to put an article up and have a link to the whole plan.
That
That's
would,
happy to do that for you.
I think that would be a great idea. I'm not having seen the plan, I'm not sure how far it extends, but certainly it would be something people would want to be aware of.
Absolutely. And it's of course all within the PNW right of way.
I think we put it up in the past.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's a reoccurring
Right.
item
Every
every
year.
year to keep the
Yeah.
vegetation down.
Thank you. And I've got three more. Sorry, I'm trying to be quick. I've talked about this before and I debated about bringing it up tonight, but we've talked in the past. I've come to selectmen's meetings and mentioned that words matter. And I want to go back again. I find it extremely offensive to hear the Great East Thompson train wreck site referred to as Train Wreck Park. I think that that's insulting to the people who lost lives and experienced that tragedy. So it really should be referred to by its formal name. The other question is about the revised agenda for tonight. The transfer station fees, is that a discussion about ongoing old landfill fees? That's a continued discussion from last selectmen's meeting, or is that a discussion about the permit fees for the townspeople?
Permit fees for the townspeople.
Okay, so my comment, and we're absorbing an awful lot of taxes, and I'm assuming that the discussion is going to be about increasing fees, not decreasing them or keeping them flat. And I just want to point out that any time that the landfill fees go up, we start seeing additional dumping on private property and on the town roads. So I just want to caution folks that having that transfer station is a helpful service to the citizens of the town, and not everyone is responsible about using it when they feel they can't afford it. And then my very last question is, I recall there being a rule that was made some years ago, and sometime in the past 10 years is my guess, that town meetings were not, for the various boards and commissions, were not supposed to be occurring on the same nights. And I've noticed that that's no longer being adhered to, and I'm wondering what changed. Certainly, I recall that's why the Agriculture Committee meets on every fifth Wednesday of the month. It's because no other board or commission was meeting on that night.
Okay, I'm sorry, Valerie, I'm not following. What's specifically, we're all kind of looking at each other wondering,
I think it had to do
is
with the
it with the
school.
town meeting?
I think it had to do with the school and the town meeting.
But I don't think there's a rule or an ordinance. I think it's sort of
Just
a,
that, one group is one place and they can't be,
Right,
because if it's a town meeting, it's very important.
right.
And if the school board has a meeting or whatever, it's hard for them to partake.
Was there something recently? Was it the recent town meeting?
There have been town meetings recently where I believe Board of Ed or Board of Finance were meeting on the same night as a town meeting. But, for example, and I know it's because of the holiday, but I would like to attend the Conservation Commission meetings, and I can't be in two places at once. And Conservation happened tonight and concurrently with the Selectmen's meeting. And I know that Agriculture was told that especially we needed to avoid meeting on nights that the selectmen were meeting. But conservation also met at their last meeting on a selectmen
Right.
meeting.
And honestly, this is always the case for conservation, since I've sat on the board of selectmen, even before I was first selectman. That they have Monday meetings, and the Monday holidays almost always push them onto the same night as a selectman meeting. So there is precedence that it's happened in the past. I'm happy to look into whether there's a legality associated with it, but totally understand not being able to be at both meetings, and I'm regretful for that.
Thank you. Yeah, I just didn't know the history on where the rule came from and why that was put forth to the commissions way back, and it was in the past 10 years. Sorry, and for the feedback in the background. So I just wanted to ask about that and see if something had changed. So thank you.
Yeah, and certainly what I can check too is for next year's schedule, because I believe they had it planned on this year's schedule. They could always choose the Wednesday, because I think there's nothing tomorrow, except for our budget workshop. But
That'd be great. Thank you.
you're welcome. Oh, Valerie, I have one more question. For Trainwreck Park, I completely understand where you're coming from with your concern about honoring those who lost their lives. What would the official title be? Is it just the East Thompson Trainwreck? Is it?
Yes, the Great East Thompson Train Wreck
Okay,
is how I understand that to be the official name.
okay.
And there are others here who have more history than I do that may be able to speak to that.
Well, I'm duly noting it, and we'll speak to the parks, the trails and parks about it. All right, any other citizen comments at this time? Citizen comments. Any citizen comments in the live audience? All right. Hearing and seeing none, we will move on to Putnam EMS report. Tammy Spearcott, I know you were in here. Are you still here?
Yes, I am.
Hey. Oh, and just so the selectmen know, I did provide the list of employees, their current status as EMTs or EMRs. The asterisks signified their status as full-time or part-time. The floor is yours, Tammy.
Thank you. So I will first go over the December operations reports.
I did not print
I
it
didn't
out.
print it out either. Do you have a copy of that's on a computer that you can share?
I'll be able to find it on my phone.
That I am not sure of. Let's see.
Otherwise, if we pause just for a second, I won't pause, but I can try to print it out for the selectmen because they don't have
Maybe
copies.
we can just,
Yeah, I am not very versed on Zoom, so I'm not sure how to share my documents. I
Okay, that's-
apologize.
No, that's okay. Let me just grab. I can print it off quickly. So Tammy, are you gonna do the December and January ops report?
Yes.
Okay, take me 2 seconds. I've got it pulled up. I'm gonna print it off.
Okay.
We should have, I should have had Marie make copies for the selectmen and I didn't. So.
Okay.
You sure?
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, it's printing right now and the printer's down the hall, so
Okay, all right, no worries.
I will absolutely let you know when we're ready to go.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we're not looking at that, if she's got any comments, she can speak
Right.
while waiting for Bill to come back.
I hope it's printing. So Tammy, on another note, while we're waiting for those reports, I see there's some EMRs. How many of these EMRs were taking the EMT course when we last spoke?
The 4 that are asterisked at the very bottom.
Okay, so Cameron, Evan, and Zachariah Jubert and Ryan Raymond are all pending EMTs, hopefully.
Yes, Cam takes his NREMT written exam tomorrow night, and Evan, I believe, takes it Saturday.
Okay,
And I have yet to hear from Ryan, and Zach as to when they have signed up for their national exam.
okay.
So I think the other thing I had asked for is the average amount of hours that they work. I know it says full-time equals 40 hours or 32 or 35. I know it's different at different.
Tammy, did you hear that?
Yes, so we work a 36-48. I do not have those numbers this evening, but I will get them for you and I will email them to you tomorrow morning.
The average number of hours that each person is working.
Yes. Do you mean what they're scheduled to work or what they're actually working?
What they're actually working when they.
Okay.
I'm thinking that common sense might be able to pull something up for you too, if that's easier. Because I know there's probably some fill-in times,
Yep,
right?
that's exactly what I'm gonna do, and I'll go through
At
common
your
sense.
payroll company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we all have the reports now. Sorry about that.
No worries. Okay, so we'll start, like we said, we start with the December report. We had a total of 227 calls between both towns. 147 calls were in Putnam and 80 calls were in Thompson. We did not have mutual aid come into either town. We provided mutual aid to Killingly once, and no other services. The call to action is the time the call comes out to when our members are on air. Putnam averages about 2.3 minutes and Thompson averaged 2.4 minutes. And that, again, that's averaged by just those calls from December. The response times are the number of calls when we sign on and then when we arrive on scene. So in Putnam, that time was 4 minutes. And in Thompson, that time was approximately just under 8 minutes, so 7.44 minutes. And then the total average for both departments was 5.24 minutes. Calls over limits have all been addressed. Those are the 3 are the incident numbers. All calls that go over our 5 minutes are the crews are always spoken to, and we stress the importance of getting on scenes as soon as we can. I mean, well, getting on the air to go to scenes as quickly as we can. And in December, we did not have any events that we covered.
Tammy, on the call over limit, the first one that has a T next to it, was that the Thompson crew?
Yes, yep. And that was, and starting in January, you'll note on the operations report that there are no Ts because we're through one dispatching center now.
Okay,
But we're still separating the Thompson and Putnam calls.
right.
So we don't know the dates of the over limits?
Not off the top of my head, but I can certainly find them out.
Well, I just know that I called an ambulance on 12/9 and waited over 15 minutes for it. So that's why I was wondering if that was one of the over limits, overtime or over limits.
Okay. You said over 15 minutes from the get there?
Yep, from the time I called to the time they got there.
All right. I will see sometimes, if they're coming from the hospitals, or they're wrapping up, maybe on a refusal. Sometimes that can happen and that can delay in the response times, but I will definitely look.
No, I
Um,
just wondered if it was if it was one of these, if it was noted here, and I'm not seeing how to cross-reference that.
Yeah,
But it-
that I am not sure of. I would have to look.
In the same respect, she could get an answer maybe as to why it was.
Over, yeah.
Yeah,
Over 15 minutes.
December 9th, right?
December 9th, yeah.
And that was for the Thompson crew.
That was Thompson Crew, it was at the church.
Okay. So Tammy, can you just make note of that for December 9th? Just get details on that and
Absolutely. Yep,
that would be helpful. Thank you.
absolutely.
Now,
Any other questions about December?
yeah, the call over limits, that is from the time of the call, from time of sign on to arrival.
I think it's call to action, no?
That is correct. Call to action. So that's when they are dispatched and then when they sign on.
Do you, I know you said that these have been addressed. What's the general reasoning that call to action would be?
We're seeing
Okay.
overcrowding in the emergency rooms a lot. We had a bit of an uptick in patients that were having symptoms of COVID. The ER has had patients in the hallways. So turnover sometimes is delayed until a bed opens up and we can get our patients safely onto a hospital bed.
Okay.
Generally, that's why our call to response times are extended.
Mhm. So maybe having some type of noting a reasoning would make the public rest assured that it was out of your control in some cases. And in the
Sure.
case where it was within the staff's control, we know that it's been addressed and, you know,
Okay,
because I know nobody wants to know that it took 10 minutes for them to act and respond, but to have
Right.
an explanation would put people's mind at ease, I think.
absolutely.
What happened to the third crew or the peak crew? Where are we at with that?
We were just approved by the state of Connecticut to add the other 2 ambulances. So I am currently in the process of having one of the 2 ambulances brought into the shop to have updates and whatnot done. We've ordered supplies that need to be replaced on that ambulance. So we're waiting for all of that to come in and for the ambulances to be relettered. All of that stuff has been in the process. We've just waited for the we're waiting for the state of Connecticut to give us the okay for that.
Additionally, Tammy, are we still waiting for a few more staff people, correct? Or,
That was my next question.
yeah,
No, so as of next month, we have someone out now on medical leave. But as of March 1st, we should be up to full staff. We don't have all full timers because we've just been struggling with trying to get full timers, but we've had some great part-time employees who have stepped up and have been helping out to fill in some of those open shifts.
On your staff list here, how many of these are new hires? Are there any that are new hires?
Yep, there are 2 new hires on the list.
Okay.
One is full-time and one was part-time.
any other questions on the December operations report? Okay, how about January, Tammy?
All right, January, let's pull that one up. All right, so January operations, total request for service was 196 calls. Putnam had 121 and Thompson had 75. Neither town received mutual aid coming in. And the only mutual aid that we provided was 2 calls to Killingly. The call to action, Putnam averaged 2.5 minutes to signing on the air, and Thompson averaged 2.6 minutes for signing on, and the total number was 2.52 average between both stations or locations. And the response times, the call to action, 6 minutes and 26 seconds for Putnam and 9 minutes and 35 seconds for Thompson, for a total of 7 minutes and 44 seconds between the two. We had 2 calls over limits. One was at 8 minutes and the bottom one was a third crew call. So those calls were waiting for people who are responding from home to get to the ambulance garage. And the only event we covered was the bonfire in Thompson.
Questions on this report?
Just that the response times increased by 2.2 minutes.
I thought the crews were staying at the stations.
They are supposed to be, yes.
I'm confused, but you had one that was responding from home?
Third crew call.
No, that's the third crew. So that would be
third crew. I didn't hear that.
right. Nope, that's okay.
On average since May, the response for the Thompson crew in particular, from time that they're called out until the time they arrive on scene has been under 10 minutes. Which I believe is a good sign, because sometimes if you're on one end, if you're at Thompson Hill and you have to get up to Quinnebog, it may take you more than 10 minutes, so.
Oh, it's very
that's-
possible. I'm
Right.
just asking
Yeah.
for, was there something that was triggering it? It could be
It's-
location of the
it's-
calls,
It's fluctuated over since May, because
but I mean, it also did for Putnam too. It was
Right.
a 2-minute increase for calls. in there.
Correct.
Mhm.
So that's why I was wondering if there was just something that,
Depends location of the
Caused the
call.
spike.
If you have
Yeah.
121 calls or 75 calls, they're all over the map. They could all be centered closer, or more of them could be centered close to Thompson Hill, or more of them could be out in Quinnebog. So at least that's how I ration it.
Yes, nope, that's accurate.
Tammy, what's your biggest obstacle right now?
Hmm. Well, that'll be finding people for the peak truck. But I mean, full timers, if that's what, we haven't decided, definitely if that's what we're gonna be doing. I do have some part timers that are looking to, help out with those hours, but, at our next board meeting, we'll discuss whether or not, they would like to have full-time employees. For those hours.
So it's still
Well.
staffing?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you don't include the part-time employees. Who have been helping to cover some of the open shifts.
What do you think so we've been at this since May. What do you think the positives are or the strengths are? What are you seeing emerge, or the things that you're happy or proud of or confident that you feel have gone good?
Well, the trainings, we've had newer members bring ideas about different types of trainings that we can do. We've reached out to all of the fire departments in both towns to get together with them so that they can look over the ambulance and see where the equipment and stuff like that is. Fire department members, medical staff are very important when we go on ambulance calls, because they assist us. And if the 2 people on the ambulance are busy, a lot of times the fire department members will go to the ambulance to retrieve equipment and supplies that we need. We've all been working very well together. I haven't received any complaints from the fire departments per se. So yeah.
Okay.
And Tammy, how is it working with QV Dispatch being the sole dispatcher now?
It's been great. It's nice having one dispatching center. Everything is right on the CAD, very easy to access. They've been available and very helpful to our staff when they have questions about how things work through QV. Just little changes here and there, but nothing that has affected patient care at all.
Any other questions?
Just quickly with Tammy, because she's coordinates all of this. The AMR situation with the hospital's been resolved. They do now have coverage for ALS transports.
They are in the process of, the ambulance service that the hospital is looking into is in the process of obtaining their license so that they can do interfacility transfers.
But they're temporarily, they are still doing those transports, correct?
Yes, temporarily, yes, without
Awaiting
the official Connecticut state license, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Right.
thank you, Tammy.
You're very welcome. Have a good evening.
You as
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to agenda item 8, transfer station fees discussion. So I sent to you the transfer station advisory committee met on January 26th. I sent you their recommendations. And obviously, yes, it is to discuss the potential of the increase. I think it's been 4 years since the last increase, nearly. It'll be 4 years this November. And I'm looking at Landry, who you chair the committee, right?
No.
Oh, you don't?
I'm just.
Oh, okay.
The last increase was in October of 20, before that it was October of 18, and before that it was October of 2012.
Okay.
So it'd be 3 years.
3 years, okay.
Do you remember what the increases were by any chance? Just so we can kind of get an idea of.
I thought we went from 90 to 120.
Yeah,
I
we,
believe it was 85
In 12?
in 18.
Oh, in
18.
18, okay.
Yeah.
So it went to 885.
I don't have that information. I can-
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay.
It went to 85, 2 stickers, and then in 2020, it went to 120 and 1 sticker.
correct.
I remember the sticker thing.
And if I remember.
And that was 20, 20, 120 and 1 sticker.
So I did a little digging, just to see where we're at financially. So just to give you an idea, in fiscal year 22, the last year, tipping fees, the cost, the expense was $161,639. To date, so as of January, we're at $162,958. At the rate that it's going, and I know it fluctuates, it's volatile, but if things continued on this track, this year's fees would be $244,437,
What is that, an increase?
about an $80,000 increase. I didn't do percentages.
For tipping fees.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
no.
just projected. Fiscal year 22 total expenditures out of the line item, including tipping fees, was $324,298. And again, with the addition of those tipping fees, if they continue on the track that they're going, we could be looking at $424,000 for fees for the total expenditures this year. Again, that's projected. I know it's hard to throw out numbers like this.
It is.
Yeah,
I mean, I could type it up. We don't have to make the decision.
no, I was
tonight
gonna
on
say, we're not
anything.
gonna make a decision. tonight.
Happy to, but we do,
We need to have the
we're being
conversation.
very focused about having this discussion
Yeah.
now before the budget, so
Right.
that we can anticipate potentially some extra dollars coming in for income to help offset. We know that the transfer station never runs at a positive. We never make money.
Flat.
It never runs flat. It's never
Never will.
too much of a hit. But potentially this year, if things continue, we could be at $150,000 deficit this year. So. When we were in the transfer station advisory committee meeting, we had tossed around and what they recommended was a $30 increase. When you calculate in the senior discount, correct me if I'm wrong, Lynn, but we thought that might bring us another $40,000. So we're still not operating completely flat. But it helps absorb some of the hit that we're going to be facing. From the extra expense for tipping fees and the lack of income for recyclables. So that's the other detail. And I'll type this all up and I'll send it to you both so that you can really marinate in it and think about it. Income last year, fiscal year 2022, was $92,807 for both the tipping fee income and the recycling income. This year's projected income in total would be around 60,000. So that's a loss of about 30,000 there. I'll put it in more clean, but just know there's several things we're gonna have to consider. Do we increase the rate? What are we gonna offer for this discount? The transfer station advisory committee recommended keeping that at half. Another thing they advised us to do was there to be a higher permit fee for out-of-state plates. We know a lot of people who are here part-time, maybe they're at the lake in the summer, they might have out-of-state plates, or they just haven't registered their car in town. That's always the fear. So that's gonna be another thing to think about. And then additionally, what do you want to charge? What are we gonna want to propose for the half-year fee? Because I don't think we
All right.
discussed that. And then at the transfer station advisory committee meeting. And then, is there an increase to the one-day pass? Where people come in and get a one-day pass to clean out a basement or things like that. So.
I struggle with increasing the fees, even though I understand what you're saying. I struggle because for some people, they might say they feel that it's the only, other than roads, the only other benefit they get from our town.
But how many stickers, Lynn, off the top of your head?
We serve about half of the households in Thompson.
Okay.
The other concern I have is something I think we heard tonight is people start dumping alongside the road. That's always a concern. We know that.
Yes.
It always is.
Right.
It is regardless, and Baker Road is a prime example of that.
That Limehouse. Any of the streets that are directly out of Rhode Island or Mass.
The industry
It
is.
might not even be residents.
Correct, but they know that it's isolated, it's not heavily traveled, and it makes it very easy to dump.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a dump truck load on Cordis Road one day, complete dump truck right in the middle of the road.
Really?
We had to go out in the middle of the night and push it off. Then clean it up. For whatever the reason.
So the industry is incredibly volatile. I will say across the board, if you're getting curbside pickup at your home from a private vendor, Casella now owns Willimantic Waste. I'm not gonna quote it right. What was the increase, Lynn?
It was a large increase. Most people, someone told me they have Willimantic Waste. It's going to $173 a quarter for them.
Right.
If you're.
Up from what? Do you know what it was
I
before?
don't know.
I'm just looking at how much they increased it.
Yeah, I don't know where.
But I mean, it's all fuel and labor costs and everything that's associated
Yeah, and
with
that's
inflation.
at your house,
unfortunately.
right? That's a
Yes.
curb.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's limited pickup because
You can't do the bulky.
the bulky is another.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta pay
Situation.
extra for the bulky. What is the age for a senior pass?
65.
65, okay. So we're
Bill,
a couple of years
I
shy.
hadn't heard the increase was $50 or $60. That was just from conversations around here.
For Casella?
Yeah.
For the curbside?
Right, a quarter.
And additionally, if you own a business like myself, we went from about $280 2 years ago, we're at $535 a month. So the industry, and it's really in crisis in a lot of ways. So,
And Lynn, what about the recycling aspects? Because that has been volatile,
Yes. and
glass,
Glass doesn't bring
anything,
The,
scrap metal we know does.
yes. Cardboard's, I think now bringing something in. We have a good system where most people are very good about recycling the proper things. When there was a call to really watch the plastics, they've had a good response at the transfer station, so the loads aren't turned away. Part of the recycling volatility is a worldwide market where China used to take everything, no questions asked. Now they're not. And so now we're facing more concerns about where to get rid of things. There's so many single-use plastics, and there's a lot of plastics that aren't recycled at all that go into the trash. So it's a concern. We're not bringing in the money that we were at one point from the recyclables.
No, I'm just wondering, at some point where you're barely breaking even or losing, is it better off just going straight to bulky and send it off to be burnt? You know, you get at that threshold, and especially if you get a contaminated load,
Yes.
that type of thing.
Yeah, I think my personal view is that it would be better to continue to have things separated, because hopefully those markets will come back up and we won't have to retrain our citizens how to separate things. We don't know when we're putting things in the bins, if this is going to bring us money or cost us money. And I'd also like to say that I think that the new highway director has already made some improvements to the facility, and that people are responding to those. It's much cleaner and more well kept.
Good. That's nice to hear.
so at this point, I mean, I think I can just,
Do some more research.
I'll crunch these numbers a little bit more. I'll send them to you in a clear manner so that you can absorb what costs we might be looking at. And make an informed decision, and we can just revisit this the next meeting.
Yeah,
Yes.
the unfortunate part
Until we
is,
come to
we
a
talked about
conclusion.
it before. You know, it's always easier to go up like $5 a year or something than to do a big hit.
Mhm.
And we have failed over the years.
Right.
And it's not just us, I mean, it's across. By, think you're doing the right thing, and
Mhm.
yeah, maybe that $5 this year and the following year is a lot easier than getting hit with 30
Right,
in one shot.
and we always,
If we go to that.
we always look at it from, well, how much does it cost per day? It's 50 cents a day. I know it's still not easy to stomach, and you're right, maybe we should have an increase every single year, but we always seem to try to wait. And then it's a bigger hit, so. Surrounding towns, Lynn, one last thing, surrounding towns. Again, I know you shared that with the advisory committee.
Yes. I know that Woodstock is much higher than we are. They're also very strict about some of the things that they do.
Right.
So in Woodstock, a regular household is $200.
Thought I put it on silent.
Okay, Woodstock is $200 for a regular household and $105 for a senior. They're very limited on their half-year permits. Pomfret allows 50 households of Pomfret are allowed to use the Woodstock transfer station. Those households would pay $250, where again, Woodstock would be $200 for a regular. In Killingly, they have a very interesting system where They pay, a regular household is $80, a senior household is $40, but they pay $5 per bag up to 35-gallon bag. In Brooklyn, it's between, a small bag is $7, a larger bag, no, I'm sorry, $7 for 5 13-gallon bags, $10 for 5 of the 33-gallon bags. So they do a pay per bag system. And then in Webster, a regular household pays $5 for a 30-gallon bag, where a senior household pays $3 for a 30-gallon bag. And they have something really odd, which is $1 for a 30-gallon bag of recyclables. So
And
you pay to bring your recyclables to them.
And we've been fighting. Winston has promoted going to a bag system for many years.
Since Barney Snay was first selectman.
Yeah, Winston Averill's been saying we should go to it, but when you start looking at those prices per bag, we'll definitely end up with stuff on the side of the road real
Yeah.
quick.
Not only that, bag system, you're actually creating more trash because most people in rural areas have grain bags, soil bags, mulch bags that they're using, but now you gotta put it in another bag that the towns had to buy and towns had to peddle for them. We have no good place to do the peddling of bags.
And then you gotta
Unless
pay
do
for the
it right at
manpower.
transfer
And then you actually have to start looking at, is it a town bag or is it a private bag?
Right.
And it gets more complicated.
Oh,
And anybody that's up at the transfer station on a Saturday, that is a zoo.
Right.
We've looked at the
Yeah.
bag system 2 or 3 times now, and I could go on with a bunch of other problems that, where are you gonna sell the bags? You're gonna sell them in town hall, then people are gonna be mad that they have to go from the transfer station to the town hall, and you're gonna have someone here on a Saturday when most people are going.
Yeah.
And when we started this committee, the week after 9/11. So it's been a long time. One of the neighboring towns has gone to the bag system. Someone threw a stick or a partial stick of dynamite under their storage trailer.
Oh, my
And
God.
ruined a lot of their bags. I mean, you know, so.
Yeah.
I could go on and name probably 20 drawbacks with the system.
And the other part was selling the stickers for the bags.
And in Putnam.
That was
where they-
another option.
Where they sell the stickers, there's been abuse of that system where people take partial stickers and wrap them around, so it looks like they've paid for. A full sticker, so we always wish that these innovative ideas could be used for good, not evil in our world.
Before Leo left, he had come to our committee and he was thinking that what we had suggested way back when maybe was workable. A bag system, but not selling bags, which,
A size
Yeah.
system.
you know, like a grocery bag would be 50 cents, another size bag would be $1, and then like the grain bags and stuff, the big ones, the soil bags, the mulch bags would be $1.50. But you still have to put manpower. into it.
Yeah,
And you're dealing with cash.
Yeah.
Right.
and we're trying to eliminate cash.
Exactly.
So, and we did talk about one thing that Amy says we didn't talk about. What was that?
Oh,
Oh, did you talk about the half year?
we did.
It's just
and
not in the notes.
I'm not sure if it is, my memory is that it would be to keep the half year, we discussed keeping it at the half rate. At half of the regular rate.
Okay, because.
Just to let you know that some people
it's
come down,
60
get a
now?
1-day pass, couple times. And take care of a large amount of garbage, and then they buy the half-year pass. Which saves them quite a bit of money.
Hmm.
You know, there's always ways around everything.
Yeah.
But I agree with Ken. If we start seeing more garbage on the side of the road, the town pays for it twice to get rid of it either way, but now the town's going out cleaning it up.
Right.
And I think our men have better stuff to do than that.
Yeah,
So if we don't look at an increase, then the town is gonna have to absorb that in our budget somewhere.
Right.
And the estimate is 150,000.
that was just a rough estimate
Rough-
based on projections.
rough
which-
estimate.
Right. On the trend that things are going so far this year. Averaged out by the month and then multiplied to create a whole year.
Right, and you said it would, or somebody said it would possibly increase, by increasing it to 150, it might increase. Decrease the deficit by like 40,000 of the projected deficit, 60,000.
Well, 2,000 people, well, not everyone's paying
Right.
the full ball.
Lynn you did a calculation based on
I did
seniors and half year and,
I did a calculation based on the prior year, half year, double stickers, full years for seniors and regulars, and projecting the increase of seniors. Because we really increased our senior population for transfer station stickers, and given those numbers, looking at a number of different increases. If it went to the regular household being $150, it would bring in about 40,000 more. The other thing that does happen is that when there is a price increase, we see a little bit of a drop off in permit numbers, because Uncle Joe will take my trash once in a while or something.
People become
Mhm.
creative.
Yes, and then, a few of those come back, because it's cumbersome and they take.
How many half year stickers would you say on an average do we sell?
The half years. I'm gonna give you the numbers in a different way than what you asked.
Okay,
Okay, so with regular permits, the full year stickers for the past fiscal year was 1,077, and the half years were 59.
so 59 half years.
Yes, and then the full years for seniors were 758, and the half year was 32. So we don't sell a lot of half,
You do half year for seniors.
32.
There were 32, and what did they pay for a half year?
And currently, they pay $60. No, I'm sorry.
For the senior half year?
The senior half year is 35.
Okay,
The regular half year is 75, so it's not half of the price. It's
yeah,
a little above.
because it doesn't cut in half.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So half,
And then the other thing that comes into it is that if people have a second sticker, they pay an additional $15.
okay,
We have had a few people, we've always called it the second sticker. We've had a few people who would like to have a third sticker. And if that's something the board would consider, that would be an option too. It'd probably be very limited additional income, but there would be some additional income. And that's usually, if there's a family with like a teenager who helps out with going to transfer station. They may put,
so not many.
not many.
Just
We're not looking at the revenues. Yeah, just a few people like.
Can you give to Amy what the new figures would look like based on what your recommendations were as a,
Yes.
advised,
1,077
advisory.
regular stickers. That's all. we
No, I
sell.
know you got it, but I'm just, put it right.
That's all we sell.
regular, not
Yeah.
seniors.
And I will make copies of this for everybody, right?
I'm just, I'll see what you got.
So not quite 2,000 stickers throughout the whole town, and we're at almost 10,000 people.
Well, it's
2,000
households, right,
Households.
households.
Steve,
How many households do we have? Renee?
4,000.
How many?
I think it was 4,000.
4,000.
4,000 households approximately.
I'm on the committee.
yeah, I know you are.
One of the things that I brought up was out of state card. And I want to review what the state statute is on out of state cars. It's principally garage overnight in Connecticut. for 6 months or more. It has to be registered. in Connecticut.
Suppose,
We have a lot of people in town that don't abide by it. When I go to the transfer station, it's at least 1 out of every 10 that are out of state. We're not collecting that revenue from the excise tax for those cars. That revenue in itself could just decrease a lot of taxation in town. So those cars should be taxed, it should be, have a higher rate, in my opinion, for a sticker than in-state.
hey, Lynn, just a quick question for you, because it's between it's
Thank
your
you,
office upstairs, the three of you. We bring in, or normally they bring in their registration for the vehicles,
Yes,
okay? That is, when you look at that registration, do you ever look at to see who the vehicles are registered to? You know, whether it's a company or it's a, you know, it might be, okay, Alan Lynn on, you know,
yes,
on Randolph, but
Yeah.
yet you look at Alan Lynn and they get Vermont plates.
right.
So that kind of tells you,
How does that
Something ain't
work?
right.
Yeah, how does that work?
And
that's what I'm saying, I don't,
in theory, we say, bring in your registration. Somebody comes in and they say, I don't have it, but this is my plate number. We still issue a permit. Now, if we needed to be more strict on that, we could. In Woodstock, you have to bring your actual registration in. But I think if it's our policy, we would need to be very strict about it.
oh, it applies. to
But
everybody.
Steve brings out a really good point. There are people in town that, well, for whatever reason, they have their vehicles registered in another state, but yet they reside here in the town of Thompson.
Yeah.
And how you track them down, Steve, I don't know. How
Well-
you get them to register their vehicles here? Because a lot of them, it's done on purpose.
No, I get that, but if you at least you hit them with the
Additional,
fee for the transfer station sticker, you're getting something back.
Well, you're right in what you're doing, but if we go with everybody, no matter if you had that vehicle for 10 years, we know you live on Fauquier Street,
Mhm.
wherever. Every time you renew, copy of your registration comes in.
Mhm.
That's fine.
And if they live.
And if they do that, then you know where these vehicles are registered to and who owns them, because it's gonna be under reg. And I would have to think that the assessor could possibly use that information.
They do send out letters, but I have 3 people on my.
Yes, but now you've got evidence.
No, I
This
just-
is more than just hearsay. You provided me with the registration.
I gave them 3 addresses on Wager Road where people have confusing.
Again, but you're
They sent
right,
the letter, but that's, you know,
but now they actually provided the registration
right.
to get that sticker. And hopefully that carries more weight with any type of
I'm
enforcement.
not
action.
saying denying the sticker, all I'm saying is.
increase
You have an
the,
out-of-state plate, you're gonna be X amount of dollars more, I'm
Okay.
sorry, but that's what.
It's something to consider, but we do want them to pay their
Oh, absolutely.
share of taxes like 90% of the people do.
Mhm.
now, what if someone uses a vehicle, their work vehicle, and it's registered out of state?
Again, if it's
Exactly.
housed in that particular state,
Overnight, for 6 months or more,
yeah,
it has to be registered in Connecticut, and your license has to also show Connecticut.
But what if you don't own it, is what I'm saying.
doesn't, because
Where is
it,
the
Company
box?
should-
if you look at any of the leasing of vehicles, like through Toyota or Honda or any of them. It will say, where is the car primarily garaged? And it will say, it's primarily in whatever city or town.
Technically, it's insurance fraud also.
Yeah.
Because the cars garaged here, but you're registering it someone else, could be for cheaper car insurance. And that's.
Oh, yeah.
It's a car.
Oh,
insurance.
yeah, I'm sure a
It's
lot
one
of
thing
people
that
do
the
it for that
insurance companies
reason.
are going after. It's for that. But state of Connecticut, you also get fined $1,000. If the state police come and find you.
but they won't do.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is state police is short-staffed and they're not gonna,
But there is-
They're not
Chase
gonna
that.
go chase them down.
they're not going to.
For you.
All right
Yeah.
then, lots to talk about,
Yeah,
and think
Al.
about.
There's another problem too, is that people have, the oldest person that's over 65 getting a permit, even if the house isn't in their name. This is something that, you know, could be picked up at the assessor's office, so couldn't the assessor say, wow, this house doesn't have no cars registered to this house, how come? But how much more work can you put on the assessor's office too?
I think he has
He
sent
does,
out letters like
he
that,
actually
yeah.
does pay attention to things like that.
I think with part of requesting the registrations every time that goes out for renewal.
The oldest person in the house can buy the permit, right? If they have a car or the vehicle registered to them
That's
or
where they
whatever.
reside.
Yeah, and they live in the house.
But whose name is the property in, that's who should be getting the permit.
And I think if
So they
we
don't
think
get
of
Learning a lot here.
seniors, if
I
we
don't
think of
do the dumb
seniors,
runs.
we think of seniors who don't have children in the house. They're seniors, maybe they're single, they don't eat as much, they don't create as much waste the older we get. So this senior citizen, I think that Al's talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, could be living in a house with a whole family of 3 kids or 3 teenagers and 2 adults.
Right.
And getting the $75.
And I don't know that we'll ever be able to stop all those little things, but we can start where we can start, and we can do what we can do to make sure that people are following the rules.
I think the policy for the next renewal, and we can finish discussing it, requesting the registration, it'd be a great start.
And I would say make the announcement early enough, like sometime early October, that's when the renewals start, correct, for November 1?
You printed,
No, we print them in September, they go
September.
out for October 1st,
Okay,
because the
That's
permit you
right.
have now expires October 31st.
okay, so
And you
start a
would have-
campaign to let people know when you, or maybe it's a little note, not that people read the things inside their mail, but not everybody. But still, we could blast it out there that you now have to bring your registration when you pick up.
but that'll be something that we'll have to
Oh, yeah.
act on and direct them when
Absolutely,
we finish looking at the rest of this.
absolutely.
And there's one more thing, this is only gonna get worse. Because if you buy a car with the MSRP, not what you buy the car for, is over $50,000 in Connecticut, you pay 7.5% interest. I mean, sales tax. If it's under 50,000, then you pay the 6.
6 1/4.
3.5, yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot buy a full Chevrolet Silverado for under 50,000.
Right.
They never indexed it for inflation. So there's a lot, and I know this for a fact, there's a lot of people that are not registering their cars in Connecticut. Just because of that luxury tax. And you start. Thousands of dollars. So. I don't know what the state's gonna do, but they're gonna have a lot of it about.
Call me naive, but don't you have to have a residence in another state to register a vehicle in that state?
Some states don't.
No, that's-
Maine, you don't. PO box, that's all you need.
Oh, so they rent a PO box to
well, it's
register?
revenue for them, they don't care.
No, but they rent a PO box to rent, oh, I'm,
Yeah, it's like $14.
okay, I'm just not that creative, I guess.
In New Hampshire, happens.
Ah,
So Karen Durlock is in the audience. She's a member of the advisory committee. She would like to speak.
Please,
Okay, Karen?
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to say, can you get something in the selectmen's update about bringing your registration?
Well, we're currently maybe if we have one before fall, we're currently working on the spring edition. And I don't think our board will have made the decision by the time that goes to press, but that's a great idea. Right, any other discussion on this topic?
so you're gonna add it to the agenda for the next
Yeah, I'll
meeting?
add it for
Yeah.
next. It'll
Bill,
give
you'll-
you guys time to think
We'll
about
get,
it.
yeah, and you'll get us the,
Bill, can you put some numbers together for the, the bulky waste and recyclables and how that trend is going?
were you gonna do that or what?
Because you,
Well, I did it, but I'll go over the numbers with Bill. as
yeah, in
well.
case something's changed. between them.
So John writes to everybody, says, what about mail-in renewals? But that's, we can talk about that at the next meeting.
Yeah, but with the mail-ins, they're sending out the notice, it would be in there.
We could ask, we would then have to require people to make a copy.
Make a
of the
copy,
registration.
Mhm.
That may be cumbersome, very especially some of our seniors.
And it's extra paper, so it's extra waste.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
But it depends what the, you know, how the board wants to set the
Right.
policy.
Right.
And then we'll make it work.
All right, moving
Can I say
on.
One more thing.
Oh, yes.
You know, you gave the numbers for what it costs for someone to get their stuff picked up at home.
Mm,
But you gotta realize people that are going to the transfer station are using their time,
mhm.
their gas, wear and tear on their car. And I mean, let's use, for example, what are these people that are going around picking up, make $20 an hour? So the people, you know, you can't go too high because, you know, it's like they are trying to do things right, and most of them are trying to recycle, which if you're getting picked up, you might not be doing much recycling,
Right,
you know, so.
No, depending on who's hauling, they
Right.
may say just put it all in that
That's
bin and
right,
be done with it.
well, almost everything's single stream.
you know,
So.
and, you know, we've been working, we're one of the first transfer stations to go to recycling in Connecticut during Don Williams' time, I believe.
And the blue buckets.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember those. I think I still have one.
People would like to see the blue buckets available again.
You know, and there's a lot to think about. And I agree with Ken, how much do you want to send our guys out cleaning up the side of the road? We already do too much. And a lot of it comes from other states.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so moving on to agenda item 9. The Lisa Baxter Felito Memorial Bike Run, request for road usage. Marie did say that we've received all the information that's required, including all of the insurance
Thank you.
verification.
I'll make a motion to approve it. Looking at their at their route, they're only using West Thompson Road,
Thank you.
and that's it.
Yeah, and I'll second it.
Okay.
I looked through everything too, and they had the certificate of insurance and everything, so.
So a motion and a second to approve this request for road use. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the road use for the Lisa Baxter Felino Memorial Bike Run, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that motion passes. All right, appointment Trails Committee, Sandra Saruccia, if I said that wrong, please forgive me. New resident to town, she's lived here for a year.
Wonderful.
She has been attending a few meetings with the Trails Committee.
What's the term?
Indefinite.
That's an indefinite one.
Yeah.
So is that a motion you were making?
No, I was just
Okay.
explaining who she
So I'll
was.
make the emotion that we appoint Sandra. Saryusha, yeah,
We'll find out.
sorry, Sandra, to the Trails Committee for an indefinite term.
Sarusia,
Saruccia, thank you, Karen.
Thank you, sorry.
I'll second the motion.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this applicant?
They've got a great
Yep,
trail committee, and the more people that get involved in everything is just gonna enhance it that much further.
Yeah, and she listed that she volunteered at the turkey trot
Yep.
and understands trails maintenance and organizing of events, so that sounds great. Sounds like a great addition for sure. Any other discussion? All in favor of appointing Sandra Saruccia to the Trails Committee for an indefinite term, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thompson Little League, agenda item 11. Request for road closure for opening day parade.
So I'll make a motion that we close the road, and what is the date for the,
April.
Rain
29th.
date's the 29th,
Oh, rain date's. the
Thompson.
22nd,
Second,
and then the rain date is the
Parade.
29th.
for the April?
April.
Yes.
April
22nd.
22nd with a rain date of the 29th
Mhm.
for the Little League Parade.
You made the motion?
I did.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
Motion and second, any discussion on this request? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of approving the road closure for the Thompson Little League Parade on Saturday, April 22nd at 11 a.m. with a rain date of April 29th, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion passes. All right, new hires. Make a motion that this board approves the new hire of Public Works Director, Public Works Mechanic, Mitchell Barstow.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion about this individual?
I did have a conversation with Joe
Mhm.
about the individual in the process, and he was very optimistic that based on the credentials and the enthusiasm, that could be a great asset.
Yep, I think he mentioned that the other day
Yeah,
when he was doing the budget
Yeah.
presentation. It's got a great resume. Sounds
he's very well
Good to me.
spoken individual as well.
Yeah.
Young family.
very
and-
Very enthusiastic, and
ambitious too.
he's in the military reserves,
Yes.
so.
Yep.
And he does that there. So. Yeah, good.
So, any further discussion? All in favor of approving the new hire for Public Works Mechanic Mitchell Barstow, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion passes. All right, on to agenda item 13. Oh my gosh. Report, Director of Planning and Development. Here, are you still with us?
I
You
don't-
betcha.
All right. Okay, the floor is yours.
All right, Amy, if you want me to, can you hear me all right? As usual, I'm at the gym, so
Yep, we can hear you great.
okay. If you want to let me share screen, I can bring up that copy of the memo just for the Zoom audience.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
turn
should
around.
be able
Oh,
to
this
share
memo?
it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's already enabled? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Multiple participant, wait, there you go.
Okay, so the three of you, obviously, I sent this to last week, so I'll go through this fairly quickly just for the sake of the minutes in the record. I've been organizing these memos in the same way for a while, a synopsis of the open grants, and then work with the individual commissions, and then any sort of odds and ends near the end. So just in terms of grants, everybody here knows we had received the award for $240,000 for the renovation of 65 Main. We have received those funds. The renovation portion of the project, the status is that currently we are waiting on the construction documents to be completed by Silver Petricelli. Those construction documents and hazmat testing and everything are being funded mostly thanks to a single private donation, but also with some local funds. And then the construction will go out to bid sometime this spring and work until we have expended the federal funds. And that was a grant awarded with no match, as you know. Connecticut CT Deep Recreational Trails Grant. There are 2 grant rounds in play. We received last year $16,000 for planning and design. The design is nearly complete and complete enough so that I can go out for this year's round for implementation. And that's going to be a fairly sizable ask. The full project being estimated around $760,000. And we would be asking for 80% of that from the state, the remaining 20% of that to be funded by the remainder of the ARPA allotment that we put aside for the project. The $2 million.
Sarah.
Yep.
Can we, because we've had a resident concerned about the name of the park, can we get the official name of the train wreck park or whatever the official name is and
Right,
start
so,
with
yeah.
that
There is no actual official name. It doesn't actually have a name at this point. We certainly have heard Valerie's concerns about that in the past, and I do take her point. If there were to be a name officially attached to it, I would agree. It would be the Great East Thompson Trainwreck Memorial Park.
Yeah,
But there is no name at this time. When we refer to Trainwreck Park, obviously that is shorthand that we're using for internal discussion.
so I thought there was an actual official name, so there is no official name.
Not really. The interpretive signs that are there now commemorate those events, but there is no, like, there's no entryway sign that says you are entering the Great East Thompson Trainwreck Memorial Park. Probably worth considering one, but that hasn't been on the list of activities yet.
So
but
just-
a worthy one to consider for sure.
Yeah, and maybe just for future reference, we should call it the Great East Thompson Trainwreck Park or something, or whatever, or, you know, when you put it in print, just so that we're not,
Yeah, sure, that makes total
you know
sense.
what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry,
Yep.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to make note of that because it was brought up, and it is the second time it's been brought up to us, so.
It has been brought up multiple times to the project group as well. I mean, it is a concern of which we are aware for sure.
Thank you.
And where was I? Oh,
Sorry.
yes. No worries, Suzanne. The $2 million brownfield grant. As of this moment, the state has the final contract back for legal review. Multiple steps to getting that contract finalized. I mean, the grant was awarded almost exactly a year ago. We had hoped to start that work last summer. But we do appear to be in the final phase of getting a final contract generated by DECD so all parties can sign, and all parties being the town, the developer, and the current owner, who did sign the financial agreement proposal and did give us a letter of understanding that he would sign any required documents. So that was important. And once we have that, we're off to the races and they can start doing that brownfield cleanup. So creeping closer.
Do we have any idea when the state will get through that? proposal?
Soon.
Yeah,
Because,
soon. Exactly.
I see
Soon.
that last,
well,
that
is
last
that
word.
soon? Hopefully, that's what you're saying, or was that we have to start it soon based on what the state is saying?
No, the state has everything they need to review and generate the final contract. They are in that review process now. So I was kind of hoping by the end of January. Here we are at the end of February. All I can say is soon, and because that's all they're going to tell me.
No,
I do check in with them every couple of weeks just to say, hey, nobody left this in their lunch bag or anything, but you know, they are working on it.
no, but I mean, it's not the state that wants us to get started soon.
The state wants us to get started as soon as we can.
Right, but now that
but-
it's in their hands, they control the destiny.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Where was I? Okay, lot zip is winding up. The sidewalks are substantially completed, as you guys know. A few open items were left for the spring. The bus shelter for in front of town hall was on a very long back order from the supplier. I think there are a couple of crosswalks that were in question because of a subsequent DOT project that was following. And there are some final items to be resolved in the area of the restaurant. Part of that is out of our control until the private owner completes whatever negotiations they are going through with the Department of Transportation's right-of-way division. If they agree to lease the two parking spaces that are not parking spaces currently there, then that will make some changes to the existing plan. If they do not agree to that lease, then we will revert back to the original plan in that area. And that is that. Steep grant, which is the library roof. The state has reviewed and given us comments back on our RFP. Talked with the gentleman from DECD again today. He had a couple of follow-up comments. Brian Santos has been working on that RFP with me. I just need him to make a couple of changes on his end. It was away for the long weekend and will be back tomorrow. So we'll have that ready to go and post for bids by Monday of next week. So we should have a contractor selected for that and work to begin, I would expect by late April. And then we figure it's a 6 to 8 week project once we're underway.
That's excellent.
Yeah, it should be a nice, easy one. It's just a strip and re-roof, you know, no architectural is required. And there are a handful of commercial roofers in the area that, you know, will be invited to bid. So nice and easy.
Yep.
T-Mobile grant program is something that I'm working on with MISRAC for potential improvements to Swanson Park, which is the Veterans Park across from Milltown Grill. We've seen some concept plans, and it's a private foundation grant that has quarterly deadlines. So we would hopefully be looking to get that for the midsummer application round. And representatives from the Legion and the VFW are going to be invited to the MISRAC meeting for their input. It's a $50,000 cap, no match required. So finite in what it can get done, but we have some really nice concept plans that we've been looking at MISRAC.
And that's a new one?
That's a new one.
Since we were here last, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because I think the last time we did one of these was in September, so this wasn't really on our radar yet.
Okay.
And then the last one that's an active grant is the other federal grant related to 65 Main. Also still under legal review before the final contract is signed. I had some follow-up questions, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, which I answered and have not yet heard back. But again, that's, you know, capital S soon. I would expect that to come back for signature. With those federal awards, the funds have been flowing right to the account as soon as the contracts are signed. So then we can start right on work with the project partners for the programming aspect. And
So
yeah,
What
go
is,
ahead.
what is the dollar amount associated with this grant?
Oh, did I not put it on here?
I don't see it.
Give me 1 second and I'll go to my files here. It was like 125,000. It was in that range.
Is this a new one too?
Since September, I don't know. No, I think I had, it either was very shortly after the last time I was here or we had just been awarded it. It was in the fall for sure. So it might be new to you, Suzanne.
Yeah, I think it is. And what's the 3.2 acres for the
That's
agriculture part?
That's the backside of,
Going down. to the road.
Is it that much acreage? I didn't realize. Oh, it goes alongside the river, doesn't it? Okay, thank you.
right. So it's currently inaccessible to the public, but it is technically a part of Riverside Park. So that will open it up to the public, you know, and get it landscaped. And to be clear, under this grant, it's just the design. Implementation would have to be a further down, a third grant proposal, but that's to be expected. But we'd have the design in hand.
Okay.
So that's grants, commissions, Agriculture Commission. At the last meeting, the chairman, who is now Vern Butler, with Randy as the vice chair, had indicated that, you know, he wants to move in the direction of doing more promotion of agritourism and agribusinesses. I had proposed at that time starting to work on another small grant through Farm Credit East. They also have quarterly deadlines. I had hoped that we would be having a special meeting in March to discuss reviving the Farm Passport program for this season. But that deadline is in early April, so it would require a special meeting from Ag, and I haven't had any strong response that they want to schedule that. So what I think is likely, and we'll have to discuss it at the March regular meeting, is that we can discuss that project as a next year initiative, and then writing a grant to hit the midsummer deadline and plan for that. EDC has indicated they would be willing to provide match funding for that, since ag has no budget of their own. And we have an estimate in hand for what likely costs would be for a full design and print program from Quinn and Harry. Quinn and Harry is the marketing partner for the Eastern Regional Tourism District, and they have consulted graciously with me on a couple of projects to try to develop estimates. EDC similarly talking about, projects for coming into the next fiscal year, what they're looking at, and what is a part of their budget request is going to be a marketing program for the revitalization of Main Street, since there is so much going on there right now. It's the kind of thing that's been talked about for a long time. And the timing really couldn't be better for it. So again, I've got some estimates in hand from Quinn and Harry as to what they think something would reasonably cost. That would be something we would go out to bid for anyway, to make sure we were getting the best value and the best match of our priorities. But the EDC guys are really excited about that. Mizrak already talked about the T-Mobile grant piece. And then the other two active projects are the Blaine Road intersection reconfiguration. We have an estimate back from NC Incorporated. That's the same contractor who worked on the sidewalks. We have every reason to expect we should be able to get that done this spring. Finally, we've been waiting for that one for a long time. And then the other thing is Mizrak and I, through Mizrak, are consulting on the design for the Main Street reconstruction. That would be road surfaces, drainage, and sidewalks. Under that contract, Freeman is working on that now. They are going to prepare a lot SIP grant. Just to provide some new context on that lot SIP grant, I happened to be at a meeting with where Jim Larkin from NECOG was also in attendance, an unrelated topic. I asked him about how that program has been subscribed recently. It works in kind of a funny way. They approve their projects and they stack them up, and they release funds as they replenish the fund. So even if we submit a successful application, and there's no reason to believe it wouldn't be successful, we would be stacked behind a project, I believe, in Plainfield and Putnam. And then the fund would also have to replenish sufficiently to what we were proposing. So realistically, even after that is accepted for funding, I think we're looking at 4 to 6 years before it actually gets done. So just in order to set expectations on when that might actually be implemented. Planning and zoning, the big thing they're working on is the overhaul of the subdivision regulations. This has taken many months longer than I would have liked, but they are closing in on the end. I got some final comments back from Marla today, which was a deadline she had agreed to. I'm incorporating her comments into a review draft for the commission. They're going to discuss next steps at their regular meeting this coming Monday. The other piece is they'll be accepting for public hearing on Monday an application on behalf of the town to move the zoning regulations online as a part of the codification project. That is an administrative thing only, no changes to the context or the content. It's just format. And that'll be make it so much easier for the general public to use the regulations. It'll be a real modernization. And then the recreation department, the main thing I work on with them these days is helping to coordinate Trails Camp. And we had a meeting just last week with all the project partners to try to discuss how we want to update it for this year. And then I expect that I will be writing at least one grant, if not multiple grants, on behalf of that partnership to run that for a third year. And then the other odds and ends for the Eastern Regional Tourism District. I assisted can you guys hold on one second?
Sure.
I'm sorry, I've just got something I got to deal with here at the gym. Call out the teams.
Is this the volleyball tournaments?
Yeah, sorry, guys.
How does that? Serving, gotta serve.
No, they have to break the teams up again. For the tourism district, I offered some assistance to the Historical Society and the Conservation Commission to submit a grant to the Regional Partnership Program that recently closed. I am on the grants committee. I cannot reveal the results of that because they haven't been made official until I think the end of this week. But I believe they will be pleasantly surprised. And then we've got 2 student teams working on our behalf from UConn School of Engineering. They are in their 2nd semester, so they'll be presenting iterations of their project concepts to us with final presentation for the public due in May. And just as a reminder, the 2 projects that they're working on are site improvements for the transfer station, and then a concept plan, partial concept plan for the 630 Riverside parcel, either for use if a specific developer purchases the parcel, or if we get to the point where we can go out to RFP for a design. And that's what I've got. Happy to take any questions from you guys. I know it's always a lot and I do try to fly through.
Any questions?
You put together a very nice report and you have a lot of stuff going on, that's for sure. My only question, and I think I've kind of asked it in the past, is there's a lot here that's going to make our town look a lot better. And there's a lot, like I said, going on, but what are we doing to bring in new businesses?
Well, so that's part of the purpose of the Marketing for Main Street campaign. And to be clear, there are some things that are going to be bringing in new businesses organically. Also on the planning and zoning agenda for this coming Monday is a public hearing for the reuse of the Superior Bakery site. So there is a business that will be using the bulk of the main bakery for a storage facility, but they have excess square footage. So their plan is to have that available as office or retail space for rent, both in the bakery building itself and in the house that's related up on the hill there. The 3rd house is going to be a tear down.
And just to add to it, I'm assuming the developer is going to have his plans because he did come to see me and his architectural design plans are really beautiful.
Are you're talking about the Superior Bakery project still?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the guy. He's very conscientious.
Yeah.
Seems to be willing to do a lot of sort of background work, you know, including filling in some data gaps that exist because of an oil tank that may have come out there. Yeah, I'm very pleased with all of the interaction we've had with him. To further answer your question, Suzanne, I have been attending for a little over a year now, a networking group with commercial realtors once a month. And, you know, as properties become available, I go in, I talk about them. A key property, which is going to be available for rent, is the building on the corner of Main Street that Bob Fournier owns. Sadly, we lost Jill and G's in the restaurant, but that building is now available. So as we continue these networking meetings, you know, I'm mentioning these properties. We're going to be hosting one of those meetings in May. And I'm going to ask Bob if we can use the currently empty space to host that meeting as an example to the realtors. We're also going to do a walk of Main Street to point out where the improvements are coming. You know, point out where there's more development potential. You know, to bring in businesses, we talk to people with ideas all the time, and sometimes they come back with proposals. Sometimes they decide it's not a good fit. But we are always looking, right? And we are getting more activity now than we've ever had in the 4 years that I've been here, and that, which is all I can directly speak to. But the timing seems to be good, so we're going to try to capitalize on that as best we can.
Are you involved with the business association as well?
I have been attending their meetings, yes.
Good. And are you at all involved with the Old St. Joe's School and the transformation, or the what I'm hearing about the transformation there into apartments?
I think that is also on this coming Monday's agenda for public hearing. I mean, involvement, it is a private developer who does this work. So his plan is, very professional, very well thought through, and that's what he's going to propose. I had suggested some options there to add perhaps some more mixed use forward facing stuff in that development. I think it didn't pencil out for him very well. But it'll be a relief to have that building not vacant regardless, and on the tax rolls, which it never was before.
Well, that's, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Not under the church.
No, it's
anymore.
exactly. So we will have some revenue from that, which will be good.
Yeah, so that I don't expect any difficulty with that application. It's, I can't speak on behalf of the commission, but it's very thorough and competent, and checks all the boxes. So I expect that'll go well.
All right. Well, I thank you for the detailed report that you give us. I enjoy reading it, and it gives me a perspective of everything that's going on in your office. So thank you.
Yep, no problem at all. I see a question from John Rice in the chat about the Extra Mart property. John, that Extra Mart property is a nightmare. The current owners, which is Global Petroleum, have conditions in their contract essentially that they will not allow anybody to do any environmental exploration. They have to take the word of whatever their exploration was. So every potential buyer who has come in to look at that property, and we probably had 3 or 4, maybe as many as a half a dozen in the last 4 years, has been totally put off by that, and you can't blame them. Unless Global decides that they are interested in unloading that property for real, I don't think there's much we can do about it.
Any other questions for our Director of Planning and Development?
Thanks for the update, Tara.
Thank you.
Sure, talk to you, and as always, call, email anytime.
Thank you, Tara.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
All right, so other business discussion, Oscar Swanson Park shrubs. I think
What did
Janet,
you give us in that?
I gave you the letter from Janet. So this is in relation to the $50,000 grant to construct improvements. I did speak to Lisa Martin. She is the commander of the American Legion. She was going to speak to the membership there. She thought it was a great idea to update. If you walk the park around Swanson Park, there are these giant bushes that actually hide monuments that personally I never knew was there until we walked the site. So, I guess they're just looking for us to, because it is a town-owned property, to give the approval to remove the shrubs, to give them a better view of what could be done. And obviously it'll improve sightlines around that corner as well. But for the most part, I mean, my feeling is it's important to remove them completely, because we are planning. I think the design and the ideas that Steve Lewis drew up were pretty amazing, but we could do even more. But you can't see the monuments that are there.
In order to complete the revitalization of it and then enhance it the way it should be, out of respect, we let the bushes go too long.
Right.
They need to come out. Even if we don't get the grant at this particular time, and it does take time to get
We
it,
could do some grass.
we still can, you put the grass, we still can put in some flowers. There's different things that we can do. And be able to see the monuments.
So they're just looking to remove the
It's something
bushes?
that, yeah, we
So
just
all
need
we
to
need
do.
to do is approve
Just
the,
direct the highway department to do it.
so we don't even need to vote on it. This is just a
So as long as
consensus
you-
that as long as we
As
agree.
long as you all are in
I'm-
agreement.
Yeah.
Take them down.
That would be something that I would do without even thinking about it.
Ken is volunteering time.
Ken's volunteering.
No, but those have got to get pulled out.
You guys heard it, right?
They need to be pulled out by machine.
Yeah,
I mean, I had a couple in the flower beds here. When Al and Lynn were working, there was a Rose of Sharon that was into the
Just-
parking lot, and there was a couple there, we just took them out. Because it just overwhelmed everything.
all right, so just looking for the agreement of the board. So I do have one more thing I'd like to add to other business for a quick discussion. If the board would approve me adding it. It's just the lease agreement. We made a motion a couple weeks back, and this was something I neglected to put on, but we made the motion to approve the lease with the Turtle Lot for the Turtle Lot
It was-
building. And I sent you both the copy.
So do you want to add this to, do you want to make a motion to add it to other business? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
Okay,
Ken
and I'll
makes a
second
motion to add the discussion for the lease, the 1909 school build, the 1909 building at the school. The lease between the Historical Society and the town.
Okay, so Ken made the motion, I second.
Okay, and Dottie, you have that recorded.
Just gotta vote.
Well, where we already voted.
No, to add it to the.
Oh,
agenda.
that's right. Thank you. It's been a long meeting. It's been a long meeting and a lot of talking.
You
Okay,
got
so
used to
we have a
those,
motion-
you got used to those short ones.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of adding this agenda item to other business, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion passes. Now we can discuss.
Now we can just,
I did read it. And I see what the town attorney did to it.
Yeah,
It makes it more general. And takes away some of the specifics that could get us into trouble.
mhm,
You know, to meet the requirements. I thought the changes that he made were right in line, that the way it should be.
right.
Because it doesn't restrict us, it keeps it the way it should be.
Yeah.
The only thing that I did see in there the only concern that I have in there is that we can work out a proper accessibility to the historical,
Mm.
so that way that they can get in there when they need to get in there and do what they need to do.
You're saying that there was no spot in here that.
Well, no, because that was supposed to be a separate agreement. If I
Would that
remember
be,
correctly.
would that be more between the Board of Ed and the Historical Society at that point?
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand with the three of us.
Right.
Board of Ed, the school, because it is the town building.
wait, your concern is access?
Well, one of the problems is the you always have to have a custodian on site.
Mhm,
It's a town building.
right,
With the upgrades that we're supposed to be doing to the security. These are just my thoughts, that there's no reason why we can't totally isolate the 1909 building from the rest of the complex.
mhm.
Where historical notifies, they have access, we don't have to cost more cost for them to do some of their historical organizations and different things when they do it.
Mhm.
I look at this as we are leasing out the premises and the school is the landlords. Or the over, you know, the managers of the property. So they would work with them
For the
to
Turtle
gain, yeah,
Trust.
for the, not the trust, for the building.
Not-
But we're leasing out parts of the building.
Right,
Because we technically own the building.
right.
The
The town
does.
The town. does.
Yes, so we're leasing out that building piece of it. And this, if maybe it should have something in it that states that the school manages the property. Because basically that's what they do. They're the property managers. That's how I'm looking at this. Am I wrong at this?
Well, I would look at it that way too.
Yeah,
Well,
and that
I
they would
agree with
have,
that.
they would
But
be
the-
the ones to
the-
create the access.
The agreement for access should come from between the Board of Ed or the school and the Historical Society.
Yeah,
Is that what
but-
you're saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
And I
That
have no
would be
problem, but we
between
can
them.
express. What we think may be appropriate and figure out an agreement with some of these items. That, you know, it ain't that they're gonna run rampant through there
no,
at a drop of a hat, they don't intend to.
You know,
But-
honestly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, so this is Bill Steglitz in the audience here with us. I feel like the Historical Society is looking to do good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, granted, they manage the museums already, but the biggest thing is they have this grant opportunity to do the upgrades in the Miscavige Auditorium.
To help
that's
restore it.
necessary. So, but this is just a key piece to doing that. And I don't know how much use or access, although we've always talked about it, the museums being open to the public more.
It doesn't have to be in this agreement.
Right, but
But-
at some point, that might be the next step anyways, because there is some beautiful museums and beautiful artifacts about Thompson history, and the majority of the public don't even know that it's there. And it would be great to be able to open it up once or twice a year,
Yeah.
or every quarter, or something where it's
Sure.
opened up for the public.
But
You guys
basic-
are
Oh, sorry.
Nope.
No, go ahead.
You're one of the trustees, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
just.
part of the
As written,
conversation.
Yeah.
But I mean, I look at it that way, you know, to show off what we have and get people to get more excited about some of our displays
But
and the great work in our history. So it's just something to
it
consider.
basically says in number 3 that it's, you know, other use of the facilities should obtain with the written permission of the town of Thompson and the Board of Education. So technically, there is a stipulation in there as to other uses or,
With notice.
Yeah, with
Access to the
notice.
nearest restroom are assumed in this agreement. Yeah. Yeah,
I felt like this covered pretty much everything. And like you said, this is only to benefit this property. I think probably what you're thinking is we all agree with it now, but what is somebody gonna, look at it 10 years? from
Yeah,
now
I
and
mean, the
look at it
basic
differently?
agreement, I'm happy with.
This is fine.
It's just that you can always do an addendum or there's
right.
a side. I'm just expressing. They get in there, they do what they need to do. It'd be nice, like you said, once a quarter, we get in there and show off what we have,
Right.
Taking pride in, our history with a lot, because we got a lot of new people that have come into town and that,
Right.
so. That's all.
So do you want a motion to
I
approve the
don't
lease
think
agreement? No,
We already made the
we did.
motion pending
Right,
the lease
so
agreement.
we're good.
So as long as we're in agreement that the.
Oh,
lease
that's right. We
agreement
said that
is
you
good.
would be able to sign it pending our,
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree
Okay.
with every change that he made.
yeah,
Okay.
And like I said, it was more general and took out some specifics that would have been restricted.
Okay,
yeah, it's good.
all right. Any other business to bring before the board this evening? Yeah. Okay. Agenda item 14, citizen comments. The floor is open to citizen comments. Valerie Clark.
Here I am again. Thank you. 105 Elm Road, Valerie Clark. And it's a long night, so be really brief. On the transfer station, one of the questions I didn't think I heard asked is whether we actually check to see if the person applying for the permit is a resident. So that would be something I think we would want to know. And the
That
other
would-
thing is,
Your registration.
Registration, yeah. Car registration.
yeah, and so if they're registering an out-of-state car, are they actually a resident? Do they live, if they're registering an in-state car, do they still live here in town? And then I think we lost Karen. She was here. I was hoping we'd be able to talk about this before Lynn and Al left. I really appreciate what Lynn, Al, and Karen have contributed to the transfer station discussion and logistics. I agreed with everything that Al brought up about the issues around some of the alternatives on fees. Something folks may or may not be aware of, and hopefully we can pass along to the transfer station committee. There's a number 4 film bag recycling program. The closest one I know of is Walmart in Putnam. But I don't know what that program looks like, whether it's something we would bring into our transfer station. But if nothing else, maybe we can make our citizens aware of it. And just an example of what a number 4 film bag is, people who burn wood pellets, those are stored in number 4 bags and they're recyclable. And then the other thing that I see a lot of folks bringing into the bulky waste is the hard styrofoam things that, like a TV might be packed in or something like that. And there's a company over in Putnam on Park Road, Park Ave, that takes clean hard styrofoam and they use it. So
You're talking where next to the Ford garage.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, they were taking it. They no longer take it any longer.
Huh. Do you know when they stopped? Because we brought it a month ago.
Uh,
They have a big big grill bin that you can put it in now.
well, I do know that there is a business in town that does delivery of equipment that is all packed in styrofoam. It was being brought there at one time, and they just stopped taking it. And it had to do, I mean, they bring in truckloads because it's generated. You said you were there a month or so ago?
Yeah, about a month ago we dropped off. I know there was a period of time, maybe a year ago, that they temporarily paused.
I'm glad you're bringing it up because I'll relay that to this business in town.
And it's always possible that I'm incorrect, that maybe now it's shut down, but they took it very recently because I save it up. I said prefer to recycle.
Oh, yeah, they were taking, like I said, truckloads,
Okay.
but they had stopped.
Yeah, I recall a time where it was paused and I was.
Yeah, if they're taking it, that's a good thing.
Yeah, so.
All right, thank you, Valerie.
And if there's a way that it would, I don't know how Walmart feels about it or how this company feels about it, but if we can at least make our citizens aware of it, the folks that are dedicated to recycling, I'm sure would do that. And then the only last thing was thank you, Suzanne, for asking Tara to change how we reference the Great East Thompson train wreck. I really appreciated that.
No problem. I think it's an easy fix, and since it's a concern, we should address it.
And I'm not the only one who's brought it up, so just want to make sure
Correct.
everybody knows I'm not alone.
Correct. Now, I know I didn't mention you by name because I know other people have brought it up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. All right, well, everybody have a good night. Thanks.
Thanks, Valerie.
Right, and that was the interesting thing too, because as you were asking it, that is exactly what I was thinking, Great East Thompson Memorial Train Wreck or Memorial Park.
I thought there was a formal name. I didn't know there was not, so it's interesting.
But they
that
could refer to it even in the meantime, before everything really comes to fruition, they could refer to it as Memorial Park. So. and that would be much more
something that's
respectful.
not as negative or as.
Well, it makes you think of a Disneyland park versus something memorial. I don't know, when I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Trainwreck Park, I think like, I don't know. It's the way, it's honestly the way the trails have always
It
presented.
kind of seems disrespectful though,
Yeah,
and I
It
get
does,
that,
so,
yeah.
but to add memorial to it, oh, well, then that makes
Then,
sense.
oh, yeah,
And it's much more reverent.
yeah.
Any other citizen comments at this time?
Yes, please, Sally White.
Yes,
Regarding the Veterans Park, it has been suggested in the past, we have the single monument up at the intersection of Main Street and Route 12 of the 3 townsmen who died in Vietnam. It would be very fitting to move that monument that no one sees, most people have no clue it exists there, and bring that down and add it to the park so that those men can be recognized and they can be in with the rest of the monuments.
that's absolutely the discussion that's ongoing,
That's exactly what
Yeah.
started the discussion,
right?
was to move that down with the rest of
Okay.
the memorials.
Very good. It's
It's a proper location and it
should
gives
have
a
been
chance to
done a long
redo
time
that.
ago.
Yeah.
And I know it's disturbing to some of the family members in town. It's just something that cars whiz by and nobody knows it's there.
Yeah.
And I would just ask too, if you're going to continue with the hybrid meetings, if you would please ensure that people that speak use a mic. A lot of what was said, other than those of you at the table, I could not hear. So I think the meetings need to be either
Probably.
one way or the other and totally
Yeah.
audible.
Yeah,
Maybe need to
Please.
be right in front of the mic.
yeah, we can make them closer.
That would be great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The hybrid meetings are still a work in progress.
It's a matter of projecting voice too, and some people don't project their voice. So. Any other citizen comments? Yes,
Valerie Clark, 105 Elm Road. I thought I was done. I just want to say again, my support for continuing the hybrid meetings. I think there's a lot of value in having citizens be able to participate without having to drive down and sit in the hard chairs at the town hall. Thanks.
thank you. Citizen comments, any other citizen comments at this time? All right, moving on to agenda item 16, tax refunds. Make a motion that we refund the following taxpayers: Toyota Lease Trust, $378.50. Christine A. and William J. Poland, $150.12. Honda Lease Trust, $223.90. And USB Leasing LT, $508.53 for a total of $1,261.05 in tax refunds.
Second.
Motion in a second. Any discussion on these refunds? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting at 9:01 p.m.
Second.
Motion in a second. Any discussion? All in favor of adjourning the meeting at 9:01 p.m. say aye.
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 Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
All right, we got the
Great meeting.
tax forms and
Oh,
the
he's a put my pen away. And the